5280 Sports Network and your Morning Minute. Good morning. It is a Wednesday here with you as we roll through this week. We wrap up the month of November, which means all of you crazy people can now shave. Let's go to a couple of different topics. Let's bounce around a little bit. Let's start with Mike MacIntyre, named as the Coach of the Year for the Pac-12. Congratulations to Mike, well-deserved and not really a surprise for me. And in fact, I think you could make an easy case for him, Shawn, to be the National Coach of the Year based on what he's done.
Yeah, I think he will be too. I really do. This has been the surprise team of the country by far. You know, now they're ranked 8th in the college playoff rankings as they go off to face Washington in the Pac-12 conference championship on Friday. It will be interesting to see what this means. If Colorado were to win, you know, what would it take to get them in the playoff? If they don't get in the playoff, what does that necessarily mean? I mean, for Colorado, it means a berth in the Rose Bowl, which wouldn't be too bad. But it'd be fascinating to see how the program moves forward from here, where they land as far as a bowl, and how they can play on this big a stage. The CU hasn't played on this big a stage in almost 2 decades.
I think it also raises another question in the long term for Colorado, which is Mike MacIntyre right now is the lowest paid coach in the Pac-12. And the question is whether or not you can take the Coach of the Year and you can take potentially the National Coach of the Year as well and continue to have him at that kind of a salary level. Is there going to need to be a renegotiation? Is there going to be an extension? And given the fact that it's Boulder, and I love my friends that live up in Boulder, but this is not exactly a community and a culture and a university that I think is going to easily embrace suddenly their football coach making $3 million a year, something like that. I think it's going to raise some interesting questions, and it's going to ask whether or not the university and the athletic department are willing to take that kind of a PR rap that is going to come their way if they were to do something like this. He is making $2 million a year, but as I said, that is the lowest paid football coach in the Pac-12 right now. I think that for CU to keep him long term, that number is going to have to go up and probably be somewhere between $3 and $3.5 million by the time it's all said and done. Can the university absorb not just that financial kick, but also the kick in the head that could come from a PR standpoint at a university and a city and a culture that may not really embrace that the way other cities around the country would when it comes to college football? That question remains to be seen. The other question that is out there, I was trying not to throw things at my television last night, watching the Colorado Avalanche give up for the second time this year 5 goals at home to the Nashville Predators. I wasn't expecting this team to contend for a Stanley Cup by any means, but to be sitting right now where they are in the points in the standings makes me want to throw up.
Yeah, they're tied with Arizona and ahead of only the New York Islanders for dead last in the NHL. And right now they can't stop anybody. To me, this is basically validation that Patrick Waugh was right. The roster as it was currently comprised is not good enough to win. They do not have enough defense, and I think this was the final straw last night for me, Nate. One of their core that they absolutely love on offense has to go in order to get themselves a top 4 blue liner before their value completely plummets in the first place.
Right. Last note for you here as we wrap up our morning minute. The story that was being chattered about in the news on social media and all these things, this very big deal being made out of Aqib Talib and Jordan Norwood on the sideline. I don't really give a crap. I got to be honest with you. Talib plays with emotion. It's what he does. I think if we had cameras all over the sidelines for the last 25 years in the NFL, we would have seen this in every single game. I think everybody needs to calm down. This doesn't say anything about Talib. It doesn't say anything about Norwood. You know what it says? Those guys want to win, and that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it either. It was not that big a deal. And look, if Norwood and Talib didn't have a problem with it, then why should anyone else?
Yeah, exactly. Let's stop throwing judgment in there. On the radio show this morning, we had Pac-12 Commissioner Larry Scott. If you missed that, the podcast posted up at 5280sportsnetwork.com and, of course, Mile High Sports as well. Shawn and I back with you tomorrow morning on the radio, 7 a.m., AM 1340, FM 1047. Thank you so much for listening and for watching the videos. For Shawn, I'm Nate. See ya.